Good afternoon and welcome to On the Spot Motorsports Media. We got a great show on tonight. We have Zach and Seth Buff from Shadyside Dragway that's going to be joining us. Hey, this track's been in their family since 1980 and is still going on strong. They hold several events throughout the year, several great events actually, and the track hardly ever shuts down, even through the winter months. They try to do as much as they can with racing as long as it's not snowing. Hey, they're getting cars down the track. But before we dive into that, we have a few messages for you, and we'll be right back.
Reliability to drive thousands of miles. Confidence for those who fly high. Redline oil products give you the power to crush the competition. And a track record of being the best. Redline oil products. You push it to the limit, we'll protect it.
Ready to take your engine to the next level? Scorpion Racing Products delivers precision-engineered, high-performance rocker arms that dominate the track. 100% CNC machined in the USA with aerospace-grade aluminum for unmatched strength and durability. Our rocker arms handle extreme conditions with multiple ratios available to fit your needs. Backed by our exclusive lifetime warranty. When performance matters, choose Scorpion Racing Products. Proven, reliable, unstoppable.
Well, we got Zach and Seth joining us, and along with Robert Simpson. How y'all doing, guys?
Pretty good, man. Awesome. Trying to keep warm up here. We got a cold.
Get ready to say, how cold is it up there where you're at now?
Today was kind of nice. It was like 51 today, or 50 or 51 today. So one of the warmest days we've had in a couple of weeks, but we'll take it.
Oh man, well that's good. That's good. I know y'all being in Shelby, not too far from where the hurricane came through there. Yeah. How did y'all fare through that?
It wasn't too bad. It was as much damage as we've had from a storm, but we didn't lose anything. You know, like we had some trees down, some power lines. But man, we were lucky. We didn't have any like devastation. So the guys way up the mountain from us, they took a beating. So we're very fortunate.
You're right. Lake Lure, Chimney Rock, all them places up in there, they got tore up. We were up there a couple weeks ago out in Ruffton, and luckily just had just a bunch of trees down still, but not the devastation until you get farther north. So I'm glad y'all are all right. But we appreciate y'all are some of the hardest working guys and the hardest people to get a hold of and talk to because y'all are just so busy with your work schedule. It's crazy. But Shadyside has such a rich, wonderful history ever since your grandfather bought it in 1980. I believe the track started at, I believe it was 58 or 55 or 58.
58.
Yeah. 58. And it was dirt, was it not?
Yep, it was dirt and it ran the opposite way.
What?
Yeah, so the track actually went the opposite way from what it does now. And the story is that a car went through, lost brakes, and jumped into a pasture and killed a cow. And so the Mr. Hamrick that owned the track at the time was like, well, that's not going to happen again. We can't afford that. So he flips the track around. And like guys like Walt McIntyre, who was a big 10-5 guy, he would tell stories about that. And he said you would feel a dip at the end of the track where they used to launch. Yeah. So they would go through, and that swag where they used to launch is still at the top end for years on the dirt.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that because I remember the history of the track that it used to have like a dog leg going off. I think it went off to the right and then you looped off at the top, but it was on the plateau. So you really couldn't see it from the starting line. Is that correct?
Yeah, it went, part of it's still there. So next time y'all are up, just holler at us. We'll show y'all.
Part of it's still there, but it went about where that first turnoff is, and it started
Right.
going left, and it started going up way up. And,
Banking up.
yeah, it was banked really high. It was like,
Oh, my mistake. I got the wrong
yeah,
thing in
a lot
my
of
head.
banking in it to the left, and it just went up, and then it just plateaued on the top of the hill. And as many people hated it, there was that many people that loved it because they could roll up to the top of the hill, throw their chutes on the deck lid, or throw them in the car, and then they'd just roll all the way back to their pits. No push cars were needed.
Yeah.
You know, if you made a pass and didn't need to abort, you could just coast to the top, throw the parachutes on there, and cruise back down. But if you got in a bad situation, your chutes wadded up or didn't deploy, your throttle hung up, you got in a hairy situation.
I was getting
Hold
ready to
on.
say, oh, yeah, there's a bunch of holding on right there. You know what I mean? But,
Yes,
but,
yes.
but as time progressed there with the track, and then your grandfather got involved. I'm sure before 1980, but he got involved and purchased the track in 1980 and started the modern renovations of Shadyside. Is that how your family got involved?
Yeah, pretty much. That's how Grandpa, told us a story. He was born in '91. I was born in '92, and I mean, we grew up there. We rode dirt bikes there. We went to school a mile and a half from there. So like that's the old home place. We grew up right there at Shadyside, played in the creek and everything. But as far as we know, he bought it in 1980. It was 2 asphalt strips, and there was nothing there. It was closed down when he got it.
There was
I didn't know
cross ties, very vertical. That was the guardrail.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just cross tie poles setting up.
Yeah.
That was to keep cars in. So, but yeah, it was just a little basically strip. That's all it was.
It was a place for people to come enjoy themselves back then, and even though it was on dirt, back in the 50s, that's not very uncommon. If you look at Darlington Dragway, it was also it was actually a quarter-mile dirt track for
Wow.
many years.
Didn't know that.
And
Yeah,
That's
I think so. But to read of the history of the track starting, I think it was like what, 25 foot wide, and then when the asphalt your granddaddy put down, he widened it a little more, and then whenever he did the concrete, you widen it to the current state that it is.
Yep.
And I'm like, I love your track, man. I absolutely love it. And but I can't imagine going down. I don't care about anything but 25 foot apart, 25 foot between both sides with both everything's like going. Gee,
Yeah, that was narrow back then, man. It really was. It was it wasn't the most narrow around, but it was right there with them, and now we've got it pretty wide now. And I know some people call our track narrow now, and I'm like, man, I think we're 48 foot,
51.
51
Wall to wall
wall.
is 51.
Yeah, 51 foot wall to wall. And I'm like, that's pretty wide,
that is wide.
It's wide.
That is wide.
And when I think I was like 15 or 16 when we done the last renovation on it and done the whole concrete to the 8th mile and everything. And me and Seth was a big part of it because you didn't rest around there. If there was work to be done, Grandpa got us up and made us go to work. So we spent our days down there. And but I remember being there and Grandpa going, I'd like to get this wide, and we got 50 foot wide, and he wanted to be able to turn his truck around without having to back up. He wanted to be able to come over here and turn his truck around.
Yeah.
So he's like, if I can turn a truck around, that's good enough to race on. He said, if you get them too wide, you're gonna get drivers into trouble because they'll have the confidence that they got more racetrack than they have. So like there is a point of getting one too wide, and then you start seeing the people who hold on to them longer than they really should.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
getting out of the groove too much.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I feel like we got a track that's got a lot of character, like it really does. So
Yeah. Oh, it does. It really, really does. And
Now-
I like how the pits have tiers, have levels to them, and there's practically not a bad place to watch.
It's fun.
Right.
I know the track's down on a holler a little bit.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I mean, the way the pits that y'all have leveled them out over the years, in Mitchell, whenever you go there and you pull in, you literally just pull, like you said, you pull in the Indy track, you pull in one of the pits and off to your right goes up on another tier. And if you go a little farther, it actually drops down closer to the track, and there's another little tier down there for like just single trailers and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so in a small area, they got it pretty well organized and set up. So
Yeah.
that's really cool about it. And but go ahead, Mitchell.
Yeah, one of the things that I hear a lot about your family, even your father and mother, even still work as well.
Our grandma and our dad. Yeah.
Okay, grandma and your dad, yeah, still work at the facility, and that's great. Just having a family together, like you said, makes it like you're always home, and you always get to be around your family. Uh, and nothing's wrong with being around your family and being able to make a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've been telling people, I'm like, when you really break down Shadyside, like there's 5 generations that's moved through there now. So our great grandpa was in partners with our grandpa. Our grandpa actually bought the track, and at a later point, our great grandpa bought in with him. And then my dad, and then us, and now our kids are down there getting raised too. So there's 5 generations that are moving through Shadyside right now, and I just thought that was kind of cool. I was like, I wonder how many tracks have actually went through 5 generations of family or seen 5 generations of family. I know the Greer family that runs Greer Dragway. They have a 5 generation family doing it.
Oh, they do too. I knew they had at least 3, but I didn't know they had that far.
I think so, man, because I think they've got some grandkids and stuff moving now, and I think one of them's mama is still there, and I've seen a picture of them post. Maybe it was 4 generations, but I thought, well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, to see. But I just wonder really how many drag strips are like that.
Agreed.
Which is really cool for North Carolina, because I think there's close to 40 drag strips in the state. I think there's I think between North Carolina and South Carolina, there's 40 drag strips.
I was thinking there was about 30 in North Carolina, or 28 or something like
that.
Something
like that, yeah.
And with all those tracks staying functional with people to come out and race, just goes to show you how big drag racing is in the state of North Carolina.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Definitely race country,
Yeah.
Well, when people think of North Carolina, they think about the moonshiner days and circle track, but there's also a lot of people that love drag racing.
Any kind of motorsports, like if it's got motors and racing in it, there's somebody from North Carolina, at the front of the pack somewhere in there. So it's.
I heard somebody talking the other day. I think it was on Wes Buck's show, but they were talking about somebody said something about being the weird kid that drove the old hot rod to school, and they're like, that wasn't cool at one point. It's starting to come back cool, and I thought, not around here, man.
It's common.
Here, hot rods have always been cool,
Yeah.
Be the North Carolina scene, like the racing scene. Somebody's a gearhead in their family at some point.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly how it was in my family. The only thing that would really get you down here is if you didn't have air conditioning. Okay. Which mine don't. But that's about the only thing. Besides that, it's whatever. But no air conditioning, boy, that'll bite you in the backside quick. What you gonna do? But go ahead, Mitchell.
So how many no prep races do y'all put on a year? I know one racer that lives not too far from y'all. He's very fond of your track, and he's won a couple times there, and that's Lyle Barnett.
Yeah, man. We have 2 true no preps a year. I've got 2 on the schedule. Last year I had 3, to where and people fuss because we manicure the track so much that the track's hard to no prep. Like once you get traffic on it and that rubber and stuff starts activating back up, it's not like these guys are used to running on the backside. So we've got 2 this year. But yeah, man, Lyle has dominated our cash days several times, man. And we think the world of Lyle. I was telling Corey the other day, I was like, he's kind of like our generation's Scotty Cannon or Tommy Mooney from this area.
That's saying something.
Man, to see him excel and know him, like we do, and he's just a really good dude. But I was thinking, it really kind of dawned on me the other day, the way the fan base he has now. I'm like, man, there's going to be a time where we were literally talking about Shadyside and all the people we have around this area: Gene Fulton, Tommy Mooney, Alan Pitton, Scotty Cannon, Pat Musey. The list goes on. And on any Thursday night, Tommy Mooney's going to be sitting in the stands. and you get a little immune to it. And I was like, dude, Lyle come up and a bunch of the racers. I'm like, it kind of hit me. I'm like, Lyle's our generation.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
to see the stage that he's put himself on. So yeah, it's definitely cool seeing him dominate that side.
Well, I think
Yeah,
he's going to let the
him
way.
and beer money.
Yeah, beer money. I
Beer
mean, let's face it. If you're going to have a name on your car, that's one that sticks.
Yeah.
You know, and to be able to put down with Harold's setup and all that, it's impressive. I mean, that he drives everything from pro mod all the way down to no prep and everything in between. Small tire, big tire, doesn't matter. He's a down to earth guy. He and his father, everybody,
Yeah.
are so down to earth. But
just a little while ago at the Snowbirds, he was actually driving 3 classes. He was doing
that's
3
right.
classes down there.
Yeah.
And I want to say at Duck's race at No Mercy, I want to say he was running 2 classes. I think one of those classes was
tailgate.
LDR.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
I see him talking about if you want to increase your odds at the Bradenton Winter Series, just run 3 classes.
and he walked away with a victory in 275.
Yeah.
Man, he just drives all the time anymore. I've seen him run no preps like cash days and then go get in a pro mod. And I'm pretty fond of NHRA. I know a lot of our outlaw style guys. You kind of there for a while. It seemed like they got this idea that like it was outlaw versus NHRA, and I'm like, that's not how it should be. Like NHRA is your pinnacle, right? Like that's the main stage. So to see him getting in there, I really hope to see him keep climbing the ranks of that, and put us a good North Carolina boy up there and some fuel stuff.
Absolutely.
Well, I think it's on the horizon for him. I know for a fact that it was talk around that he would have drove a Top Fuel car, but it didn't quite work out, and I felt real bad for him, because he does deserve it. He's been going through the ranks at a young age, and he continues at it. And like you said, he's a great guy. Really is.
Oh yeah, excellent. I tell you something that else that I appreciate. You spoke of your grandfather and your father and y'all, the work ethic that your family has with the track and everything you do. And I know one of the things that your grandfather really wanted when he started the track is he wanted somebody to run 200, and he worked high and low and did the concrete. And I think in 15, I think King Tut did it, didn't he? I mean, Todd Tutterow. I'm saying, I think Tutterow went 200.
Yeah.
There for your first one at the track. Is that correct?
Yeah. So that was the CXPM deal that we had started with Nathan Van Beek. Man, I worked with Nathan on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was kind of the roots of CXPM getting started. And
that was the race before then.
That was right before we started.
Nathan come down there. We talked to him that race. That's kind of
that race with me.
He did. But that was kind of what kicked it off. The following year started the Carolina Extreme stuff.
Yep. And so, Tut came down, and man, he at that time that was the fastest roots blown pass in the world.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, man. We went to PRI, and it was nuts.
That was a roots bowler record. Yeah.
We had our jackets on with Shadyside, and people were coming up and they're like, "Did he really go to that book?" We're like, yeah, man. Like it's legit. And
you're like 5 times too.
Dude,
he went 2 bills, I think, at least 5 or 6 times in that day or something like that. Just
369. Like I said, and that I can't remember the year. I want to say it was like 2014.
Yeah.
I'd have to
14 or 15 or something like that. Yeah.
You're right in that area. But yeah, man, that was you couldn't have smacked a smile off of Grandpa's face, dude. That was surreal.
Dude, it was rad.
Yeah, every article I read, that's what they talked about, is that your granddaddy was going around cheering, high-fiving everybody more than anybody else.
Yeah.
Including his crew. And I'm like going, okay, that's a proud man's worked hard for that.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. But that's part of the mystique about your place. It's so great. Now, you have a very so speaking of your grandfather, you have a Ronnie Buff Memorial race that y'all have started, the King of the South, and it is everything that I've seen. It is just caught on amazing. It's I think it's what, 75,000 to win. There you go, King of the South, and that's a true 10-5 race, correct?
Yep, that's on a 28 10-5 non-W.
Okay, I like how you have the rules out there, real simple. No wheelie bars, no W's.
Yeah.
Chip, draw, and let it eat. Now, what makes your race interesting, if I understand correctly, it's an invitation only. Is that correct?
Yeah. So when the first one, so the Ronnie Buff Memorial started the year that he passed. Like he passed in April. We had a race for him that May.
Gotcha.
And I started with pro mods. I brought the pro mods in, done it up kind of cool. It was fun. The pro mod scene's kind of slipping on some of the small tracks. And I get it, it's hard to pull those guys to small stuff. So hopefully we can make some updates and get them back in there. But so some things changed, and I kept trying to do bigger stuff for Grant Paul's race. And I had been pondering on a big, 50 race for a while. But the dirt tracks is what really kind of got me. I'm like, gosh, they're racing crazy money constantly in dirt track stuff. Like, we can do this. So I come up with it. I talked to Dad and Corey, our buddy Corey Stamper, Spooled Media. And at first they were kind of like, we can probably do it a little cheaper. We can. And it didn't take Corey long to come around. He's like, well, I mean, if you want to, yeah, we're in. And after we started laying it out and coming up with that, I was like, okay, we've got to figure out how to do this, because obviously just betting $50,000 is pretty tough for any establishment. So we laid that out with the invitational stuff. So that covered a big portion, close to half of it. And then rules come into play, but when you do an invitational, you get to pick and choose who shows up. So it actually took a little work off of us. And the whole idea was, once it just fell into place, man. When you think of a payout like that, and then you're going small tire racing, who was it better than Ronnie Buff, who put King of the South on the map with the first 10,000 race?
Yeah, with 28 10-5.
For the 10-5 stuff, and then the legacy he built through 10-5. I mean, it was just it was easy work, man. The Ronnie Buff Memorial, King of the South is back. We're back on a 10.5 slick, where Shadyside made a lot of recognition in the 90s and 2000s, and we're honoring the man that done it all at the same time. So this year we get to go to 75,000, and the support we're getting from Strange. I mean, to have a company like Strange come on board just really, and I made sure to go tell them that at PRI. Is like, I know they sponsor a lot, but what it means to us is, out of the park.
Real
they'll
classic.
never know what it means.
Yeah,
It kind of warms your heart when big companies like that care.
Yeah, and they seem to, man. Like, the more I talk to them, they're like, man, the grassroots stuff's where it's at. It's just they can't make it out to all those shows, but they can support them, and they do. So like I said, they'll never know. I can't tell them. There's not enough words to tell them. So.
Right.
No, but doing what you're doing and sharing it for places like here is exactly lets them know. Lets them know what they're doing for you in the race and all the racers.
Do y'all open up and have a pretty good area for vendors to come out and set up as well at that race?
We make it work. We got a good bit of vendors at the last one. Barrett Green was up from Texas with the Big Hat Mafia stuff. Several of the racers had some two-foot trailers. Strange had a little booth set up. They didn't take up too much room. But we make it work. If like he said, it's in tiers, so I might have to separate you. I don't have like a true vendor alley, but I can get them close enough where our fans can get to and see the products.
Yeah, and it's very important. If spectators watch this later, it's very important to go around and buy some merch from these people who are there to support this great race that y'all have to honor y'all's grandfather.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. Between supporting the companies that support Shadyside and other racetracks, to supporting the events that not only y'all put on but other tracks put on, is definitely what we encourage everybody to do. Just get out, even if you don't race, just go to the event, just watch, enjoy it. You never know where it could lead. You can lead to to having a whole bunch of friends that you never had before, which that's usually what happens when you go to a racetrack more than once.
Yeah.
You know, next thing you know, you're having dinner tomorrow night with your buddy coming up out of Ocala. But sorry, that's me. But yeah, it's the fact that y'all increased. Wasn't the purse last year 50,000?
It was.
Yeah.
Okay, and that this year 75. Now, Mitchell and others out there, I watched every video I could find, including school media and everybody, everything I could find on that race, watching it. Not only was it an exciting race, but it was literally standing room only in the pits. It was just amazing how many people and cars were there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my gracious. The only other people that I saw videos that competed with that is when Southeast Gassers came there at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, I think y'all had them lined out the gate and down the road.
Yeah, man. Well, and see, Gassers has kind of taught us that, like, we were able to get them in pretty good at that race because the Gassers showed us that, man, we got to work on some of this congestion. So we made a makeshift exit lane. We opened up 2 layers. We got more people working. We're pushing them in. I got people parking. So it's going to keep getting smoother for that stuff. But, you know, I think a lot of people don't understand is like small tracks and crowds. Like, it's not on a regular basis that a track of our caliber is putting 4,000 people through the gate.
Yeah.
You know, that's what that race done.
You're usually at, like, for us, we're usually at that, like, depends if it's testing 2 nights or races, but like most of the time you're like 8 to 1,500, you know, like, but they'll come in all day on Friday, they'll trickle in. It's not like everybody just comes in like, you know, all at once.
Right.
And that's how they do at the Gassers and that King of the South, man. It's you get an influx of people start coming in on Wednesday and Thursday, and then your mass comes in on like Friday, you know. It's just,
that was our biggest show by far. Well, the biggest crowd we ever had was a couple of years ago. We had Kai Kelly and John Doe down there.
yeah.
Ooh.
We had a little shootout, and it was at the height of the show.
Yeah.
We've done some work for Tim, our buddy Tim. Now I'm drawing a blank on his last name. Barton, yeah. But we done some work for him at Orangeburg. They were at Orangeburg. We went down there and prepped with them, and then they came to us on Sunday, and we done a little show. And that was our biggest attendance. I forget, it was like 4,500.
Yeah,
it was close to 5. That was crazy. That was absolutely absurd. I wish
Where did you put them? Just where did you put them?
Man, when I tell you they were standing places they shouldn't be standing.
No, I know.
Imagine.
That place by the tower got my attention. It's a great spot, but you have a jersey barrier there for a reason.
This was before all the fence work, man. They were hanging
Oh, yeah.
everywhere. Like, I had my Carolina Grudge at the time, which was a 579 index on a small tire.
Okay.
And when we would call them to the lanes, some of my guys were getting mad. I remember it. Like, you would watch, like, if you were standing at any vantage point, like 5-foot platform, you would watch just the crowd shift open and a car come through and they're closing.
Yeah.
And like one of my Carolina Grudge guys, like, this is effing ridiculous. We shouldn't have to. And I had to stop him. I'm like, dude, can you just be happy? Like, this isn't a real deal. It wasn't a points race for him. We put you on if I would have known it would have been like this, I probably wouldn't even had a shootout.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
The people came out to see them.
when I put it in perspective of like, this is good for us, man, it was instant. Like, you're right. And we ran the show. Everything went as great as it could have went. But that was the biggest one. Now, King of the South has kind of stepped close to that. The Gassers are right behind that. I mean, those 3 shows are right there together. The Gassers have done a great job of doing that year over year, twice a year. So
Right.
I would rank the Gassers bigger than the King of the South just for the simple fact of the longevity they've been able to hold.
Yeah.
Right. Well, in the past we've had Leslie Horn on, and we're going to try to get him back on probably somewhere after the season opener to come back on the show. But I tell you, man, I've never witnessed it in person, but I will be witnessing it this year. Going up to South Georgia Motorsports Park and watching that's where they're going to kick off their season.
Yeah.
But I just by looking at the videos, it just reminds me of, hey, it's the 60s, you know,
Man,
just 60 drag racing with the backup girls. And just the whole atmosphere is just wonderful. By just watching a video, you feel it, and that's why people come out to your track to watch that,
Yeah,
to
it's
get
really
that feel of what it was like back then.
Yeah.
Today.
yeah, it's really cool. And that, like South Georgia, they'll have a really good race. Like it'll be really good. It's gonna be a good show. But it's a whole different feel at these hometown tracks like Shadyside and like Mooresville, or they went to they've been at Union before, and it's like these small tracks just really amp that show up even more than what it is. It's just because you got the nostalgia, you got the grassroots, and then you bring that old school everything back, and it's like a time travel, dude. It's like you're in a time capsule.
Right.
It really is.
I mean, like I've been up to Rockingham, and just getting out of the car, I felt like, ooh, I just stepped back in time. Just the way the facility looked and how it's set up, and I mean, I just love the place. I love places like that.
Yeah, it ain't just a flat, asphalt pad.
Right.
Like it.
What a great job Rockingham's doing down there.
Yeah, they're building.
Those guys
I
are.
hope to go. We want to go back because I haven't been up there since all the improvements. I've seen some of them up there initially, but I haven't seen with all the more recent ones. And I've heard nothing but good stuff.
Dude, they are killing it. They are absolutely like it should have been, man. Rockingham, and it's not throwing shade at anybody, but like there's just been a little bit of it getting left behind over the last several years, and to see it storm forward so fast and take on some of the caliber of races it's taken on, like it should be. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's good.
And Van Horn, he's got his own little Hemi series that they do, Hemi shootout series that travels around, and I want to say they hold 2 races there in Rockingham as part of that, and I hear things may be coming around for the circle track across the road. Talking about putting a pedestrian bridge in, and so I like to see that place back going again. I think it's it'll thrive very well, and I think the place needs it. I mean, it'll uplift the economy. You got some hotels that they can't fill up because those events are not going on in the area anymore, and it's a lot of money when you see stuff like that. That's a lot of money just coming into your city.
Yeah, that place has got the infrastructure too. We went down there for an RC race, and dude, they've got full hookups for days. Like they've got power hookups, water hookups, sewer hookups, everything. Like, dude, they probably got 100 spots down there that you could hook campers to. Like it's massive. They've got the infrastructure there to have these big races. So it's a really good spot, and I'm glad they're bringing it up because it's we went to I use this because I heard it when we went to a promoter's meeting one time. I was young, but when tracks shut down, some people like down the road, they're like, "Oh, cool, I'm gonna gain more cars," and it's like, well, not really, because there was a guy talking about it. He said the track 30 minutes down the road from him closed down. This was oval dirt track, and he said the first week he had 5 extra cars. The next week he had 3 extra cars, and then I think he had 2 extra cars that stayed with him. All the other 70 or 80 cars at that track 30 minutes away was drawing, they just quit racing. Like they didn't go anywhere else. They raced because it was, 15, 20 minutes from their house. They didn't race because, they had to travel. They raced because it was convenient, So,
right.
So anytime you get more tracks and more races going on, it's better for the sport. It's better for the hobby. It's in the best interest, So anytime you see somebody doing good like that, it's only going to elevate everything around it. So
I agree. That's a good attitude. Do you work with the other tracks around y'all to try to work with schedules and try to stay off each other as much as possible?
Not really. It's not. I don't feel like it's a toxic deal, but like we mentioned earlier, you got 28 tracks in North Carolina, 14 in South Carolina. And I've painted this picture a dozen times, and I do try to catch some of the promoters like at different shows, and I tell them like, man, if I'm ever on something important or we're double booked, give me a shout and let's see if we can work through it. There's a chance I can,
Right.
but it's never personal. Like I've never scheduled a race on top of someone to hurt them. But when you really paint the picture of, we've got 52 weeks in a year. All right. So just on face value, if there's 40 tracks between North and South Carolina, and don't count your eastern part of Tennessee and southern parts of Virginia and all that, there's 40 tracks in this immediate area. That's one race a week that we could not be on top of each other, right? So then you take away holidays and you take away the winter, you're looking at about 40 something weeks a year that we get to race. So the idea that some of these tracks will be able to stay off each other is damn near impossible.
Right.
But I think the main focus needs to be like, don't do anything with malicious intent. Don't schedule on a track trying to hurt them. If you have to, you have to. But yeah, I've tried. I mean, I do try to look like.
I feel like all of us, like locally, like within the 2 hour range, we try to look at each other, and see what everybody's doing. And like you said, there is that time where it's just sometimes it happens, and
Right.
what it is.
But you don't do it intentionally, and like you said, I mean, you tracks around there that have a traditional big race a year,
Right.
whether it's a memorial or something like that. I think I assume everybody around there would know, okay, this track has this around this time of the year, around this, so you try to respect that and, pull off that, and have your own. I think I can see that, but you're all trying to help each other in a way.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, you look, but it's just like last year. An example is we had a race, and there ended up being like 3 tracks on that same day. And I tried to check in on car count with everybody just to see, like what's happening, how the market really looked. That's how you kind of have to view it. And every track was down. I mean, everybody done good actually, if you think about how many tracks raced. So this year I made a note of that, and I backed off that week. Now, some other tracks didn't have their schedule out at that time, so everybody might have had the same idea, and we all wind up on the same week again. But there's no phone calls happening, and I really don't know what good it would be, at the end of it is if you'll make a conscious decision to try to stay off each other, I think that's going to go way further than trying to get, your local 10 tracks in a group and, convince them why you need this thing.
You see, you just said that. You said local 10 tracks. We got local 4. And
Right.
they're like within 3 hours of me, 4 hours of me, 4 tracks. And of these 4 tracks, they do try to talk to each other and stay off on the bracket programs, stay off each other. So that obviously, people typically, where I'm at in Jacksonville, we go run Gainesville or South Georgia. That's our 2 main tracks. Whereas near Mitchell and Central, you can run Gainesville, Orlando, Bradenton, and be part of their programs any given time. So,
Right.
They understand that, so they try to stay off each other as much as possible.
Yeah.
Not always work, but you try to.
Right.
And then go from there. So that totally makes sense.
You got
But
4 guys, that makes it a little more.
yeah. You got a little more to juggle. You got a little more to juggle there with that many tracks. But now your Memorial race is a big race. Sega race is a big race, but you got a lot of other racing going on also, don't you? You got a bracket program, a 530 indexing program, I think you do, and other Harley races, and just all kinds of racing you got going. There you go.
Yeah. We got motorcycle races, truck shows. They do a big truck show every fall, and we run a bunch of everything. I mean, really, we do.
I can tell.
Yeah, there's
one time we had a group of scooters that were running with for a race, and they were pretty easy to get along with. So I could make my schedule, and then I could say, hey, I got these Saturdays open that I'm not going to use, and they would schedule a scooter race. But yeah, they done that for like 5 or 6 years, man. These guys would come down, and I'm talking about like the VIP scooters, not mini bikes. Like mini bikes are kind of taking off right now.
Right.
There's a group of them that like to race, but these guys were on scooters, straight up. Chinese, Metropolitans.
Right.
It was crazy.
I want to hear the trash talking on that. It's like, really? How good can this be? But still, it'd be a lot of fun.
I think they just had fun, but yeah, the trash talking, I couldn't imagine being like, you ain't been out of the 15s, man.
Yeah, nobody can take you serious without just busting the gut on that one.
Yeah.
It's like, gee whiz. So I remember you saying one of your rules for racing is like above 50 and no snow, or above 50 and clear, or something like that. Y'all got a rule of thumb. I mean, I know it's not a total rule, but y'all try to do something like that, right?
50 degrees and sunny, what it needs to
50
be.
degrees and sunny.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much racing year round. I mean, if it wasn't snowing or that cold right now, y'all would probably be racing this week, right?
Yeah, man. Like Zach said, the last month, we hadn't raced in 3 or 4 weeks. And it don't look good for this Sunday. But I mean, it was a couple of years ago. We raced every Sunday in December and January.
Yep.
So
It's hit and miss, man. Our weather's so crazy. Like we'll get that warm spurt where it's just, mid 50s to 60s all winter. And then some winters it's make sure you leave the water running so the pipe don't bust, like it's bad. So it's just where we live, man.
It's feast for famine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, for all your events, if spectators want to come out, it's usually $20 at the gate, and kids 10 and under are free.
Yeah. So most events are 20. There's 1 or 2 15s in there, and then there's some 25s.
Okay.
King
Yeah,
of the South.
relatively cheap though for a family to come out and enjoy some racing.
Man, yeah, I'll be honest. I don't know. I see some of these races and they're still cheap. Like they're $20, $25 ticket and people complain about it. And I'm like, man, my son likes to eat McDonald's and it's like $12 or $13 every time I go there just for him. And I'm like, I don't know what you're doing for $20 or $25 anymore, especially where you're going and using that facility all day and getting entertainment, and I'm like, and we don't bust people over the heads. Like we let them bring coolers and bring their grills and stuff like that, so it's like, we're not trying to be greedy, so it's like, I don't know what else you're doing, for that kind of money,
Right.
So,
Yeah, test and tune nights for us are $15, and that includes your test pass.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So $15, you can come in Shadyside on a test and tune and go down the track.
Yeah, that's not
Mitchell.
bad at all.
Road trip, Mitchell.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
Last time I was up there, that explains why you said I can go down the track when I come up, and my wife and I, we just stopped in and you had a no prep race going on.
Yeah.
And so we just pulled in there and parked and started watching, and there's a little downtime in between. Y'all were doing things. And I just went up, introduced myself, started talking to y'all, and I was asking y'all some questions about the track. And you're like, "Did you bring your car?" And I said, "Yeah, I just drove my father-in-law. So we'll just take it down the track." He goes, "You have a tech card. That explains why you said that."
Yeah.
And I'm like going, "Oh, okay. I did buy my tech card." So what I'm getting at is y'all had that very friendly atmosphere.
Yeah.
Welcoming everybody up there, and it's a great place. But what is your plans for you and the family for the future of the track?
Good God, man.
Oh, God.
It's not a trick question now. Come on.
Well, it depends which day you ask us,
Yeah.
and it depends. It depends if we got a lucky lottery ticket in our pocket or not. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well that's kind of a self-explanatory. I get it. There will be signs. We know.
Yeah, we're just gonna try to keep chipping away at the facility. I think that's our big deal. We want to renovate parking, make parking bigger, better. Eventually take that top hill down. Mine and Seth's dreams, for a long time now have been, man, if we could take all that dirt on that top hill and put it in this hole right here, we could have a real nice flat parking area on that second level, third level area. So we spent some time and money on that last year.
Yeah, we spent too much time and money on that. We the dream started happening. Man, the whole thing about that was we stood at Grandma's and Grandpa's house, which you've been there, so you know where their house is situated.
Yeah.
And it's looking over the track. And I remember telling Grandpa, like, man, wouldn't it be nice to take that fourth level and push it into that valley and just have everything flat? And you're kind of pipe dreaming that, right? Like, and then all of a sudden we start doing it.
Yeah.
And you're kind of standing back watching it unfold. And like, it's a lot more than we thought it was going to be.
It's a lot.
But we had some local companies. It's a lot, but we had some local companies. Land Pros was a sponsor of ours. They came in and done some stuff for us, helped us out. Some good friends of ours, Parker and Sons, they moved a lot of dirt at a good price for us. And so like it got hard to stop where we should have said stop. We should have been like, okay, we're done. It was no, let's do one more day. Let's do one more day.
Yeah.
Right.
And so hopefully we get back on that. But there's like I said, man, we could make a list tonight and it would probably be a whole notebook full of what we want to see done.
Right.
Like Zach said, in the major future is not fixing, but leveling out some more parking. I'd love to host something like a team finals for IHRA.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I'd love to start hosting some really big bracket races where I can fit 400 and 500 entries in.
Right.
Right now we're just a little limited. I could probably do about 250, 300 maybe.
Yeah. Well, bracket guys, they usually do pretty good about parking and stuff, and their rigs aren't terribly big, some of them. So yeah, we could probably get about 250, 300.
Well, and also you clear by the stage lanes. Over looking at the stage lanes over on the right, where the drive around the back of it.
Yeah.
You could probably, not that you can get more lanes there, but you could probably get some up back on that right hand side.
Yeah.
Right over there. Is that the holler you're talking about? Is that the place you're talking about, the low side back there, or not?
No, the low side's up there towards Grandma's house. Like when you come.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
Now I know
you
what
go
you're
to the
talking
gate, and then you come past that tree line that kind of opens up there. There's a hill there. That's what you're talking about, filling in that area.
about. I got you.
But yeah, that was awesome. But immediate projects that we want to get done is parking, and we'd love to redo our shutdown. It's starting to get pretty choppy and busted. So we're wanting to get it re-poured. And we just want to do it this winter, but it's just, you make money, you spend money, and we spin out. We done the bleachers. For those that don't know, we got brand new bleachers, probably 200 foot long, aren't they? And they're 10 rows, 15 rows high. They're 200, 300 foot long, and they hold about probably 1,800 people in them, and they're really nice. Brand new aluminum seats. So we got some stuff going. We're wanting to do some fencing work to try to keep people off that tall wall. That way it doesn't block the view.
Working on visibility stuff.
Yeah, working on visibility, working on just spectator visibility, stuff like that. Trying to make it to where you see what you pay for. If you pay $20 at the gate, you get every bit of more than $20 of visual. So that's really what we're focusing on.
Okay, now I'm going to put y'all on the spot per se a little bit.
Nice.
What did y'all, since y'all are an IHRA sanctioned track, what did y'all think about the announcement today that Rich Schaefer is going to be the president?
I don't know, Rich, man. I've had a lot of people like IHRA's announcement because we were getting the banquet ready, but I had about 3 guys message me and tell me that he'll do great. So
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know him either, but I did see that today, and I was like, well, they needed somebody, So they was going to fill it. We just didn't know who. So,
here's the deal, though, with IHRA, right? Like, I've seen people being critical of them. I know I liked Jeffers, man. Jeffers, I think, had a good pace going. I kind of hated to see him sell it, but I get it. At the end of the day, he was probably stretched thin. So Cuddle comes along. He's interested. He buys it. He was obviously pumping money into it. Him and Kenny butted heads, apparently. That's for whoever decides what they feel about that. But, I see people being critical of him right now, like, oh, you need to get something out there. I'm like, man, this guy just bought it like a month ago.
Yeah, I know, right?
Fired the president that Jeffers hired, right?
Yeah.
And I'm
not even a month ago. Like it was.
He bought it after a PRI.
Yeah. But I think it was.
Actually, it started at PRI.
Yeah.
The talk started at PRI.
He become a sponsor at PRI, and then 2 weeks later, they're announcing that he's bought the place.
Yeah.
Or the thing.
Yeah.
I had a lot of faith in what Jeffers was trying to do, man. And the little bit I get to hear from, because there's so much moving, but like Doug Foley's our divisional guy, and he's been in touch with me. You look into Cuddle, he's done a fantastic job running business. There's no doubt about that. And I think we're in for a good ride if people can be patient and he can get past some of this negativity that's happened.
Agreed.
Well, Rich, he was actually our division director for Division 2.
Okay.
And I really liked him.
Yeah, he was definitely approachable. I mean, we talked to him, and even if y'all don't agree with each other, it was cordial, and he would listen to you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He would listen to you and talk to you, and at least give you a reason,
Right.
not just say because. You know what I mean? He would at least give you a reason, and I could respect that. You know.
So, like I said, I don't know anything about this guy. What's his experience in that kind of realm, like where he's going to be he's the president?
Well, I can't speak for after us. He was Division two tech. He was Division two director for what, Mitchell? 10 years, 12 years, something like that.
Yeah, for quite a while.
He worked up through NHR. He ended up as our division director for quite a while.
He's
Okay,
definitely been around the sport for a while.
Yeah, he's been around the sport, but then I didn't say he had a fallout, but he just had something that just didn't quite settle right. Okay, with upper people, not our division, but just people, his bosses or whatever like that. So they decided to part ways mutually. So he left, and actually he's been all over the world now, but he's been helping other racing organizations and stuff like that through various means. I don't know exactly to what extent, but I was blown away when I found out that he was offered the presidency for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, good for him. Good for him. He's been around racing. He's run the Gator Nationals. He's run big national events. He's run local races and smaller races and tracks and divisionals and everything like that in between. So, like I said, he's very approachable and down to earth about it. So, like I said, you have to go to see.
Yeah, organized.
He's very
organized. So,
very organized.
So I think he's going to do really, really well for IHRA. And it's funny, I texted him today, and I said, first of all, congratulations, Rich. But I guess now we got to get you on the podcast because a couple of weeks ago we had Kenny. So I thought that was probably kind of funny for him. To see what the vision is, if it's pretty close to the same, how far of a different direction that they're going to go. I like Kenny's vision of trying to bring back those jam events and getting some nitro cars and stuff like that, pro mods back going, and it energized a lot of people, and there was a lot of chatter going on. And the basic how Kenny explained it, they just had two different visions and decided to part ways. And he wishes the IHRA the best of luck. Now he says, I have nothing bad to say about IHRA, and hopefully it'll go on and prosper back. So I'd just like to get Rich on and talk to him about it, because I think it's very important for tracks like yours to make sure those events are going to be available for y'all. I mean, maybe y'all can put on some a special race for IHRA at y'all's facility.
Yeah,
I know y'all would really enjoy that.
I was talking to somebody the other day. I think IHRA's main focus is like when it comes down to brass tacks, like what the IHRA does for a track, in my opinion, is pretty nominal. I mean, I'm going to run my program. I'm paying my money.
It was funny is I could see Leslie actually calling you that. I could see him saying that. Oh yeah. Okay, sorry. You were saying.
Yeah, we'll make him wait.
But yeah, like I said, what IHRA can do for a track, in my opinion, is kind of nominal right now. Like, they need to focus on making sure that there is enough grandeur and enough, national recognition for our guys to run. That, I think, is the most important thing for them, is to get that name built back up, get the prizes good. The prizes are huge, and I think the prize money is going to stay the same, it was good. But I kind of think they need to just focus on that, because, like I said, what you can do for tracks, in my opinion, is I'm going to run my program, and if you don't have a national series that these guys are interested in, then it's no good for them, and then it's no good for me, because that's all I care about, is that my drivers who race hard all year have a national championship that they can go run for that means something.
Yeah.
So I hope to see them really focus on that. And
Yeah.
and get it.
Agreed.
Well, I'm kind of like Robert. Me and Robert, we've talked a lot about it, and they need to focus, like you said, Robert, on the sportsman racers, and lay that ground out there, and let that be the root of IHRA, and slowly build it back up to where it once was.
Yeah.
And me and Robert also talked that we hope that they don't move too fast and get financial problems, and make it tough for them to survive. That we want them to prosper as well as a sanctioned body, because one weekend I might say, hey, I really don't feel like uh, racing at one of the other tracks because Gainesville's not having a race.
Right.
Well, I could drive right over to North Florida Motorplex and race there. And they're what are they? They're
WDRA.
WDRA, and I like to see some tracks locally that can go IHRA, in the South, where I can drive within 3 hours and race in that sanction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think having the sanctioning bodies right now, a lot of people are like, we don't need 2 sanctioning bodies, which they exclude NHRA. NHRA, and I think everybody's mind is in a different field.
Yeah.
But IHRA and WDRA, I'm like, I love it. I love that there's 2. Competition only comes out good for the race.
Right.
So having these 2 series going to bat, and you kind of see it go through, like on Facebook, some of your loyal IHRA guys and some of your loyal WDRA guys, they're duking it out on who's better, and I'm like, good.
Yeah, you're right.
It brings the best out in people, and it brings the best out in people in a way of like they're going to do everything they can to beat the other. So like it's just like we went in earlier, like it elevates everything. You know what I'm saying? If this person starts edging them out, they'll work hard and edge that person out. So like it'll bring everything up. Hopefully, hopefully.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, we totally agree. And it's funny you mentioned WDRA. We got John of WDRA coming on next month to talk about the association. And man, I had a great conversation with him, just like what you said, as far as the sportsman racers and grassroots and supporting the tracks and stuff, just like what y'all were doing. They were talking really good about that, and they weren't criticizing anybody. They were talking about everybody to help, because it helps. By what they do, it helps build your program at your track, which will help the racers and to move on to like you said, championships and other things like that. So yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm looking forward to talking to him too.
Yeah.
But
I'll tune in for that.
What's that?
I'll tune in for that one. I'd like to hear what they have to say, and I hope I hope you guys get with was it Rich?
Yeah.
The new director with iTrade. Yeah, I can't wait to hear from him too.
Yeah, we would like to really get him back, get him on to like I said, just talk about what's going on and everything, and definitely looking forward to that, because like we talked before, it's like that's what we're all for, is supporting people, lifting people up, and encouraging people, and
right.
and things. Now, going along those lines of encouraging and supporting people, you have some marketing partners with you at the track, do you not? Like Strange Engineering, for example, and
yeah.
And I think you got, is it Line to Line also, one of the coating companies?
Man, yeah, we've got some great people that work with us. Strange, obviously, coming on for the Ronnie Buff. Heinz Performance in Concord. I don't know if you know the Heinz Brothers Performance and the Heinz.
Yeah, yeah. Weren't they in Statesville?
Yeah, that's your Heinz Brothers Performance.
Right.
That's Statesville, and then there's a Concord one, like right across from Charlotte Motor Speedway, basically. Like,
oh, okay,
right there. That's Scott up there, and he came on board with me last year and really helped me get my points funds up for my bracket stuff. So we've been sending people up there all we can. They were a big one to come on, and a lot of locals too, man. There's a little place right outside town called Magnolia Mill. It's a little boutique shop. She's big into racing and she loves it. And she loves Shadyside, and she came on with a major sponsorship for us. So if you guys are in town, need something for your wives, swing through there. It's all like Western chic, man. Yeah. It's pretty dope. Cool. She's got some good stuff. She carries a lot of name brand stuff, Marriott, as well as some of her custom stuff. O'Reilly's came on board. You know, that was kind of a corporate deal that they actually were like, we'll help you. You know, send us your packages.
Yeah.
The manager up there. Allison Golf Carts. So when you're down there, you call Allison Golf Carts. They're right down the river. Good friends of ours. They help us out every year. Gosh, I'm gonna start drawing blanks. Cameron Walls.
Yeah,
He
Cameron
just
Walls.
started him a speed shop, man. He's a young guy doing some good work. Bobby Houston Trucking. Guys like Bobby Houston, man, we're calling, we're like, what do you want on the sign? He's like, no, I don't care. You know, he didn't care. Like, he's not picking up customers from a drag race, man. He just wants to support, you know.
Right.
Dan
One
Wisnitz,
local business supporting another.
yeah, man. Dan Wisnitz, an engine builder right up in Kaiser, where our grandpa grew up. They were best friends, you know. Later in life, I think younger, they butted heads a lot, but later in life, they became just the best of friends, dude. And Dan's always been good to us. And
Yeah.
I'm going down the list here. I'm trying to think of what's on my walls. Land Pros, like I mentioned earlier, they were a major sponsor this year.
Vintage Dog. If you're ever in town, need a beer, they got you covered. That's a little wine and beer spot. I do music most weekends, about every weekend. So
Last year, we really pressed on getting sponsorships because I wanted a points fund, and I was blown away by the support we got. You know, so I appreciate you giving me a second to holler at them. Though. That's
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
It like you said, you know, if it's not for those marketing partners to come on board and help you out, you're not able to do a lot of things.
it makes
you
it
know,
tough.
without-
Man. Well, you know, at the end of the year, you might have had a good year, but you can't advertise a points fund on what you might have had because it very well could have went bad. So where their money really comes into play is guaranteeing points funds, doing special little prize things throughout the year, stuff like that. And it just really solidifies what you can do for your drivers.
G-Force.
G-Force. Roby with G.
Transmissions, he come on big and help us out a lot.
Really? G-Force came on, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
We got a good relationship with Roby, though. With
Okay.
the stuff and all that, you know, and we have a gas that we ran and all that, and it's we had G-Force transmissions in it. And, but yeah, he wanted to help us out. He liked us for some reason. I don't know why, but he does.
he does.
He does know, but he's a good dude, man. If you ever
He's the
need
best,
anything,
man.
he'll hook you up. You call him, he'll fix you up with something.
There's no better freaking straight drive transmission.
Dude, it's wicked.
Well,
You
it's funny you say that because we got a Jericho in ours. And
Yeah.
I've heard about what's been going on with Jericho for the past years, you know, when Tom passed away years ago.
Yeah.
And everything that's going on now. And I keep telling my dad, I said, we just need to get a G-Force, a G101, and, you know, call it a day. And I'm like, great. So, you know how that is, you know.
We have tortured ours and clutch shifting, clutchless shifting, whatever you want. We ain't tore it up. We broke everything else except that.
Pound for pound, that transmission is a dog.
We beat the crap out of it. And I'm telling you, like, we beat the dog crap out of it. And I run the limited amount of oil in it because we're trying to reduce drag. And then
Ooh.
we take it out, and I go, what's it look like, Roby? He said, you didn't even have to pull it. He's like, it's fine. He's
Of
like,
course,
"There's-
you didn't tell him you ran it low, right?
Oh no, I mean, like, he told me, he said you can run just something to get the gears wet, pretty much, you know, because like you're not building any heat, just something to keep it lubricated. That's all you need.
Right.
So I'd run like just a quart of whatever, you know, of my lightweight oil, and then that's what it does.
You get serious
Maybe.
about that, call Roby.
Yeah, he'll hook you
I'll
up.
keep that in mind. I'll keep that absolutely in mind.
Yeah.
I'm talking to my dad, and we once I finish one other car of his, I want to start on the stick car. And
Yeah.
bring it back out. And anyway, that's first thing first. Got to get one done before I go to the next.
Yeah.
You know, I think Mitchell knows all about that too. So it's like, going,
Oh, yeah.
So it's like we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. So, okay, so y'all got a good long list of marketing partners that you're working with for your bracket program and other things, which is great to see that local businesses and bigger ones have stepped up to help y'all, and the racers still help y'all in racing. Now, I couldn't help but notice, Zach, was that your little boy running around here?
Yeah, that's Cody. That's
Yeah.
my son. Yep.
So is that the fifth generation that you're talking about
Yeah.
that's going to step
Yeah.
into the track?
Yep, he's down there running around right now. They're digging out lizards and all that stuff from the and frogs from the creek right now and trying to sell them to our racers right now. But
Trying to sell them to your racers.
they dug up salamanders one time. Him and his buddy did. The boys did. They dug up salamanders and they had them in a big bucket selling them at the race. I was like, put them back in the creek.
Who would buy that? Why would you buy that? You know, I just. It's not like you're going around selling. It's not like you're going around selling cookies or something like that. You know.
You never wanted a salamander.
You never wanted a
Not particularly. We got enough of them running around. We don't need to pick them up and sell them.
But hey, Robert, they're kids.
Yeah.
There's no one going to say no.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. If a kid shows up with cookies, there's people that with an insulin pump still buying them. Okay, just because their kids selling them. You know what I mean? I got 2 pounds of cookie dough at work in the freezer still from somebody's kids coming through there. You know, it's like going just because. But is your boy or your family they going to start in like juniors or something like that? Or are you just going to put them in
we got a junior. I was going to start working on, and my real goal was to get him to run a couple races this year with our points deal on our small bracket races and stuff. And I'm going to try to take him to the team finals with us this year. And then his daughter, she's 5, so she gets a little bigger. She'll slide in there too, and we'll get another one or whatever we need to do. But but yeah, they're definitely interested in racing. So we're going to try to put them in there.
No, I think that is so cool. You got family there with you, doing what you do. Mitchell,
well, I know we're going over an hour, but before I go, I want to talk about some races that y'all hosted last year and see if you're going to have some of those back. Hog Gone Wild, is that something that you're going to have back?
No, that promoter, he kind of quit. I had him on the schedule last year, but some things come up with his dad. I don't know if I'll be able to get him back on the schedule for a while. That was another bagger event that A1 Cycles is doing. The what's he call it? The bagger cash days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, I bet that's cool.
That's the one y'all posted up earlier.
Yeah, the A1 Cycles race. That basically took place with the Hogs Gone Wild deal, and he's doing a really good job with it. He's a racer, and he's for the racer, and he's ran at these big races before and all that stuff. And he wants to bring that to a small level, And
his name is Michael Beelan.
Yeah,
I think he's actually from Florida. I don't know what part. But he raced NHRA Harley stuff for a while, and he wanted to do a race. Yes, A1 Cycles Cash Days. So he does a great job, like Zach said, man. If you're not into bagger racing, come watch it. If you don't know,
it's cool. I've seen a little bit, and it is cool. I've seen my grudge nights and stuff like that, and the one that Star Racing had years ago was crazy wild.
Yeah. Dude, they're wicked fast. I mean, for what they are, like they're crazy, crazy fast. The first time we seen them, we went out to California, and we have seen some like fast Harleys. But we went out to California and prepped for Sacramento one time, worked with Jay Bodie out there, and they had the turbo Harleys and all that stuff. And I'm like, man, what is going on out here? Like this scene is crazy. And we talked to the guy a bit, and he's like, yeah, man, they're cool. That's what we do out here. Everything out there. And then it wasn't long, probably 2 years later, it started trickling over, and then we've got guys that come, pretty regular down there and run their baggers, and they're all tricked out, turbos and all that stuff. And I'm like, this is wild. Like, just like I said, you find motorsports or racing, and somebody in North Carolina's in it. Like it's.
Yeah, that's pretty true. I mean,
well, I was wondering if George Bryce comes over with his bagger.
That's who I was trying to think of, George Bryce.
He's got a bagger that he races at some bagger events.
Oh, man.
And of course, George Bryce, he owns Star Racing and used to own the Pro Stock motorcycle team back in the day. And just a truly great guy. And here recently, he started a school to educate people on building motorcycles and for racing. So, but yeah, if If not, I'll have to put a bug in his ear and tell him that he needs to take and drive over to Shadyside and run in one of those mega races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he brings his hitter out, man, if y'all were into bets, you probably need to give odds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't necessarily know if he'd be the baddest, but I think he'd be right in it.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
That'd be really cool to see.
Also, you'll hold the Carolina Nitrous Nationals.
Yeah. It is
Now,
called.
that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's called the Carolina Gold this year because it's not all nitrous anymore. There's so much turbo applications out there now, but it's a really good race. That's John Sears, and we've had it 8 years now. No,
It's been a long time.
it's been a while. We've been doing this longer than we think. You know,
Yeah, you lose track for sure.
like
You lose track for sure.
That's one of our premier small tire events for radial stuff. John comes in with that race. Limited Street will be part of that program, which is definitely one of our favorite classes now.
Yeah,
that started out with Limited 235 and then DXP Street, and they kind of merged all that together, and now they've got Limited Street, and it's just the rules are so tight in there. I mean, if we have 16 cars and they qualify, they're going to be within a few numbers of each other.
That's good.
It's stellar, man. It's crazy.
But y'all also have like drag and drive events come through there, right?
yeah. Southeast Street with Devin Vanderhoof.
Yeah, doesn't Yost put that on? Is that right?
No, Devin Vanderhoof does.
Yeah.
Okay, my mistake. I'm sorry.
And then we got the Carolina
Drag Cruise.
That kind of coincides with some of our testing teams. Michael Lone does that one in the spring, and then Street and Heat is definitely bigger. Carolina Drag Cruise is fun. It is really cool. But Street and Heat has Devin and them have just blown it up. It's how many entries did he have last year? November.
I think he had on pre-reg he allowed like 300, and then by the time the race and everything started, I think he had right at 200.
Yeah, he had a good turn-in rate.
That's a good turnout.
Yeah, apparently on those dragon drives, by the time it gets close, they're pretty used to like a 40% drop rate, and he was just above that. I thought he does a good job, man, and it's fun. That's kind of the racing I'm digging right now.
Me too.
Really fun.
Yeah. We got Sick Week down here, and we're going to go see a couple of days of Sick Week. First year, I couldn't get into Sick Week with my car, so I got into Sick Ward. So grabbed my dad and threw him in the car, and we took off for a week. And he just laughed at me. He goes, "Why are we doing this? We've raced at all these tracks before, and we've driven all these roads before. Why are we doing this?" So he didn't want to go back. Yeah, we had fun. He did. He was just busting my chops.
Yeah,
I don't blame him.
Yeah, and eventually, one day, me and Robert's going to be able to jump in it.
Yeah, that's our goal is to either compete in his car or my car. We'll go do one of these together, and we'll film the whole way, and film the whole thing, and put it here on the and interview people and stuff like that, and do like we're doing right here, but live, and maybe we'll be able to come to one of your Carolina ones and participate it and interview y'all and talk to everybody involved. And,
you talk about like production, man. Sick Week has got it going on, dude.
Yes, they did.
They do a fantastic job.
They do. They really, really do. We know Derek Putnam, not only the announcer for Sick Week, but also he works in the publication and stuff like that. We've known him for years from down here, and he's great on the mic and everything. And so they got a really good platform, a really good base, and it shows.
The guys that run the Dragon Drive stuff are so cool too. Like you meet
Yes, they are.
really cool cats. Like I remember the first one Devin and Josh went to. They was like, "Man, we're gonna kick y'all's teeth in. We're gonna outrun everybody. We're gonna put all y'all on the trailer." And they're like, "Cool beans, dude." You care? And they're like, "Man, we're just having fun."
Yeah.
And he said, "These people just didn't care. Like they just didn't give
They weren't there to win.
crap. Yeah, they wasn't there to win. They was just there to hang out." And he was like, Devin come back and he was telling us about it. It kind of changed him. He was like, "I don't have to just, like I still want to win, but I don't just, I don't have to be that crazy about it. Like
Right.
Because everybody knows what you have to go through just
Yeah.
to get there to that last one. It's like going, I think you need to think this through
Personal
again.
battles, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
personal battles. Like, I think that's what makes it so good. Is like you don't have to go out there and win the event. The fact that you made it to the last track was winning.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
That's it. Yep.
Right.
You know, it's real funny. One of my coworkers, they seen something about it, and they're like, "Well, how fast are some of these cars that do Sick Week?" I said, "Some of them are 6-second cars." In the 8th mile, I said, "No, quarter mile,
Yeah.
no way." I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, way." Yeah, I says it's really neat. Always like to try to find a road and get off the side of the road and just take pictures of the cars coming by with the trailers and stuff and post them up on the motorsports page. And but yeah, I was like, yeah, the best place to do is try to find where the route's at, as close to your house. Go find you a parking lot, pull in there, get your lawn chair out, sit out there by the road, and watch the cars come by.
The car show will come by. It will come by.
Seeing a full blown pro mod come by with the doors off and a trailer behind it is wild. You know, like that's crazy. Like you just don't see that on the road. And then when you do, it's like this machine was built for nothing but to go fast. And it's out here in the wild. You know, like you don't see them on,
To me, on the Drag and Drive, the best and the toughest one I think is Rich Guido out of Canada. They call him the Canadian Chuck Norris. He's the one that's got the 65 Pontiac with a turbocharged Pontiac in it with a 4-speed or 5-speed. He drives it from Canada. He doesn't have a truck or trailer.
Yeah.
And he drove. I mean, he from the Canadian border. Because I talked to him, he's like 4 or 5 hours north of the Canadian border. Okay, and about in the middle of Canada. So to get down here for Sick Week, you know, he's like, I'm driving for 30-something hours just to get here, and I'm like mind blown. And you know, he's driven everything but the Alaskan one, as far as I know. It just just amazing. And then you see the pictures of him going back, and it's got snow and salt caked on it. Yeah, when he gets back home because it's a blizzard, you know what I mean, and all that stuff. He pulls it in the garage, knocks it off. And I'd say go sleep a week, but you know, whatever it takes. But I mean, that to me is the toughest individual, one of the toughest individuals I've ever seen.
It seems like every Canadian I've met or become friends with, they're rugged, man. They're just they're just like, yeah, man, that's what we do. You know, and I'm like, good for y'all.
I've had more Canadians ask me about alligators. They think they're hanging out at every corner. You know,
you get up here in Florida, man. They are though. They're just.
I mean, common sense kicks in. You know, a lot of common sense kicks in. If you're near a body of water,
it's got a gator in it.
Right, it's got a gator, so you just treat it that way.
Any water, you see any kind of standing water, they're in it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and especially you hear that growl or something like that, back away. You know,
in ditch lines and stuff. You know, like I mean, they're it's wild, dude.
It is.
We have them at the track in the storm ditches.
Yeah.
It's been raining long enough. It's sunning long enough. We've had little ones in there.
It was back probably 4 or 5 years ago. Alex Lofton was out there with his radio controlled boat. He threw his radio controlled boat in the drainage pond. He's out there driving around. Gator come out, got his boat.
No way.
Yeah. He took it down, and a few minutes later, the gator let go of it, and the boat came back up on the water. But it was hilarious.
He'll never forget that story. He'll never.
Oh, no.
He's like, I got one to beat that. But I know y'all got to go, so we're gonna let you get going. But I wanted to tell you, thank you so much for Mitchell and I and everybody at On the Spot Motorsports Media for taking the time to talk to us, share with us about your history, about your present and future. Now tell everybody again, how can they get a hold of you? What's your website?
The website is
ShadysideDragway.net.
Yep, ShadysideDragway.net, and then Facebook, Shadyside Dragway. Shadyside's all one word, and then Dragway. And we're on Instagram too, Shadyside Dragway. So Facebook, Instagram, and that's what we're most active on.
Yeah, email us at ShadysideDragway@gmail.com. I try to keep it pretty simple, straightforward. If you can remember the track name, you can about get in touch with us.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. When y'all do hold special events, where can people watch those at on Facebook or YouTube? Who does all your live streaming and stuff.
Pretty much spooled media. Corey Stamper with spooled media, man.
Yeah.
There's actually that's about it. I don't have any live streamers, and if I do, it's going to be Corey. So that and he'll announce when he's coming and when he's not going to be there. So if you're wanting to watch something live at Shadyside, if he's announced it, it'll be there. If he hadn't, it's probably not going to be.
Okay.
But we do a good bit. Like us and Corey became friends long ago, and so if he doesn't have anything going down, he'll come and just live stream a test and tune sometimes.
Yeah.
Just come hang out and talk to Zach about RC cars and stuff.
Yeah.
So
he has come. Yeah, he'll come down. We run RC cars together. He'll come down for a race, and he'll hit the test and tune and live stream the test and tune that night, and then run RC cars. And sometimes he has live streamed the RC race before. So like we just.
Oh, Corey's a hustler, man.
Trying to have fun,
I like it.
He's been a huge part of our program, dude, over the years.
Yeah.
Good
That's
friend.
good. So everybody go over to Spool Media, and I've watched a lot of his videos, and his work is excellent.
He does great work. He does.
So I recommend everybody to go over to Spool Media and support him and subscribe and follow him also. And like I said, we appreciate y'all coming on here and sharing with us. And like I said, any updates, new flyers, new racers, or anything like that you want to share, please let us know. Be happy to share it on our side and get it out there and promote it, push it all we can. And I know Leslie watching this. Leslie told me that basically that is his home track.
Yeah.
And he says basically if it's a test and tune, we're gonna be there.
He is. Yeah.
Leslie goes way back, man.
Oh yeah. So I got more in-car videos of him at your track than anywhere. So
Yeah.
I mean,
They test that, man. They come down there and test and hang out, and you'll see him cruise in on Sunday. Just come down there and talk to us, and he's there. He's a racetrack dude.
He'll be getting ready to do some testing here real soon.
Yeah.
If the weather will break here, everybody's chomping at the bit. If the weather will break, man. We've had people reaching out wanting to rent for test sessions, and it's just we ain't had no good days. We can't get consecutive days to get the ground warm. Like it's just so cold right now. So,
well, I'll tell you what, I love Western North Carolina. I lived in Maggie Valley for a little while.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
And it's just beautiful.
Yeah, we're really fortunate. We're nestled right in between everything. We're right there in the foothills. We've got the mountains an hour away from us, west of us, and then we've got the beach 4 hours east of us. And we're really in a good spot. I tell everybody else, it's unfortunate where you live because we live in the best.
Yeah, I agree with that because it is absolutely beautiful country up there.
Yeah.
And my wife and I, we were retired. We want to move up there. That would be my home track then.
Yeah.
So, looking forward to that too. But thank you very much for coming here and talking to us tonight and talking about your sponsors. Strange being the first, being the big one here with the Ronnie Buff Memorial. Honoring your grandfather like you're doing, carrying on the tradition of the 10-5 races and promoting those. And I was really impressed last year, so I know this year is really going to be a banger. And like everything else, so we encourage everybody to follow them on Shadyside Dragway on Instagram, Facebook. You can also go to the website. You can look up their schedule. You can reach out to them, and that's exactly what I did. And look, here they are. So
I appreciate the heck out of you having us, man. I know you. And it is sometimes it does get hard. Like it's the small track, conundrum is you're a businessman at one point, you're a plumber, you're an electrician, and sometimes it's hard to switch. It's hard it's hard to stop working with your hands and pick up your phone and sit down and go, now I'm going to send email, and I'm going to sit here and do this.
It's tough. So if you message us and we message, and then like 6 hours later you get another message, it's like, oh, okay, he was on the tools. Then it's
dude,
like,
I know it. I mean, we've talked. We just like, we get it. We work, and it's like going, they'll get back when they get back. It's okay.
Yeah, dude, odds are if you're messaging Shadyside or emailing, you're talking to my wife. People lately have been asking questions, and it's funny. They'll go, "Thank you, sir." And she's like, "They have no clue that you're not doing it."
No, you don't. It's like on the email. And all she said, he goes, they'll get back to you. That's
Yeah.
all. That's all she said. But you told me before it's your wife, so I was like, going, okay, yes, ma'am. I just left it at that. But like I said, we appreciate y'all coming on the Spot Motorsports Media tonight and talking with us and sharing about your great history, your family, and your wonderful track. And Mitchell, I got to take you up there, buddy. You're gonna
Yeah, I need to buy me one of those salamanders.
Yeah.
Dude,
Well,
yeah, Cody can
we'll get
hook
you
up,
one.
man. He'll
Don't
hook
worry,
you-
I think they'll hook you up with something around there. I don't think you have to worry about that. But you're really gonna enjoy it, Mitchell. And I think you still got fried bologna on the menu, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And they had me at fried bologna sandwiches.
One's fried bologna sandwich.
Dude, that
Yeah,
bologna is, I don't
they-
know. The bolognas are kind of signature deal. I don't know why, but even we travel for these RC races, and I take bologna with me, and I'll cook it on the grill. So
Yeah.
like all these guys, like people from Florida, out west or whatever, if we're racing, they'll be like, "Man, you got any of that bologna sandwiches over there?" Like they come to Shadyside's tent to find bologna.
No, but it's a good thing. I've always remembered that, and my wife too. She just smiled from ear to ear and just loved it. So, but once again, we do appreciate everything, and we wish you and your family all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
No problem.
Thank you very much,
Anytime,
y'all.
guys. Anytime.
Y'all have a good night.
You too. See you.
Take care. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I tell you what, there's just something about those small tracks like that, and I think that's the reason why Sega likes having events there as well, because it brings back that old school feel,
Absolutely.
and I think sometimes that we just kind of get lost about where drag racing came from, and with events like Sega and Funny Car Chaos, it brings us back, to the history of the sport.
Completely agree with you. And those guys there is a perfect example of hardworking and looking to give back to the racers, just like he shared uh, as far as getting sponsors money together to encourage his bracket program, to build up his bracket program, not just making a promise, but having something there for them. So that just goes to show, and I mean, clearly by the history of their grandfather, to have the memorial like that, and for people to show up and support it in the manner that they have it, it's great. It just goes to show. And that track being a staple for as long as it has been, and to continue to grow, it is great. It's a wonderful thing to see. This day and age where we see so many tracks closing down, and then to see a track like this and others flourish.
Yeah, and the thing, we talked about is, the track used to be dirt.
Yeah.
And as soon as, we started discussing that, it just brought me back to another old track, started in 55. They started 2 years later there at Shadyside as Darlington. I think Darlington is known as the one of the oldest drag strips still in operation today, which is pretty neat. And Shadyside's not probably too far back from them by 2 years. And just to see those old tracks like that still prospering is really great for motorsports.
Agreed. I didn't think about it till you said that. You're right. Being functioning for as long as it has, and like he said, now I got the fifth generation there represented at the track. That's really saying something. The parents lived there at the track and everything. One thing I forgot to ask him is there was a lot of fire engines around there, up there by the house. Just older ones. Just I was like, who collected them? I wonder. You know what I mean? That's one thing I forgot to ask. But it definitely has that feel where the community and the racers support the track, and the track in turn supports the racers and the community. By, like you said, the people come out and do construction work there, excavation and stuff like that. We're local. Other people that come out and do maintenance work and things like that. We're local. electric trucking company coming in just to help out because he just likes helping out the racers. You know what I mean? That goes to show. I mean, it's really good, and the fact that there's so many tracks around them within a given period of time, and they try to lay off each other, but they just do things to encourage each other. That's really good to see. It's refreshing.
Man, when they started talking about how many people show up to their events, I was like, wow, that is some really great turnouts. I would love to see 250 people in the stands for one of our bracket races.
No, that'd be a national event for that. I mean, yeah, no, because
that right there is just the area supporting their facility. Right. Keep it going. So I wish we had that mentality around some of our tracks here in Florida and South Georgia, where people get up off the couch and they go pay the money and go get entertained and watch some great racing. And I think a lot of the bracket racing is a lot of people's not enthused by it is because they don't understand it. Right. They don't understand the breakdown of why this car is leaving before that one, and that one got there, first. He should have won, but no, he didn't win because he broke out. And so I think it's just a lot of miscommunication of.
I totally agree with you. I mean, I think there you are. I think there's definitely a lack of communication there that would still be very, very helpful to the fans coming in. Whether it be information at the gate if it's their first time. I know we all put information online, and they push for everything to be online, which is true. But I still think having a little flyer, have a handout, and somebody comes through the gate, if they say they've never been, you know what I mean, boom, you hand them flyers to spectators, hey, this explains the bracket race. And it just be general. They don't have to break down every rule, but it could just be general to explain things. Because I still talk to people this day, and all they think the track is only open for the Gator Nationals, and that's it. They don't realize that there's so many other events, Night of Fire, 352 Shootout, Fall Brawl, along with bracket racing and Gator Nationals and Baby Gators and just lots of other things. So there's a lot of things going on at the track.
Yeah, one of the things I've actually talked to our track manager about, and I'm actually going to try to get a hold of the Gainesville Sun, is I like to start seeing the bracket program get put back into Gainesville Sun like it used to be 20 years ago, where they had the winners of each class in there in the sports section. So I'm going to try to reach out to the Gainesville Sun and talk to Jody some more about it, and try to make that happen, where we send them the results and they put it in the paper on Monday. That way people can go through there and see it.
That should be pretty cool, because that's going back. That's old school, and I think that's pretty cool. That's how it used to be. I don't know exactly how far back, but that's how it used to be.
I want to say it's like 20 years ago that it used to be in the Gainesville Sun. So we'll try to see if we can make that happen again. But before we let everybody go, we want to let everybody know that Rich Shaford has been announced as the IHRA president. He was formerly a Division II director, and he had worked for NHRA for many years before getting that position. Also, we have some great guests coming up next week. On Tuesday, we have Summer Richardson. She is a top alcohol driver. And then regular schedule on Thursday, we're going to have Raul Torres of South Georgia Motorsports Park joining us. We're going to talk about some big events that are in the making that are coming up, and also the Peach Showcase, which was announced out at PRI, where they're going to have a pair of funny cars and a pair of top fuel cars, 4 Pro Stockers and 4 Pro Stock motorcycles run at that event, and bring a little bit of a taste of an NHRA national event to South Georgia. I think it's a really, really great thing, and I'm really excited for Raul and the things that he has been doing there at his facility. Just making it great for everyone involved in his community and getting them off the couch and to the track. from everything from driving your ATV in the mud to mud drags. I think is one of the things they're trying to do.
I think
I
they're
hear
working that way.
the circle track might be coming back.
Yeah,
Which if it does, it's probably going to be asphalt, so they don't have to worry about dirt ending up on the drag strip. I think that was one of the problems they had in the past before Rail took ownership of it. And I like to see that circle track once again be able to race several classes. I think it'd
I
be
agree.
really great for the area.
Oh yeah. I mean, it'd be a great opportunity. I mean, there's a lot of racers around there that supported it, and come from other places also. Yes, absolutely. It would build up. It'll build back up, and what Raul and the staff has done there at South Georgia Motorsports Park is wonderful. It's great. I mean, they have expanded it. They've improved upon a lot of things, and the racers are coming out and supporting it.
Yeah, a lot of electrical hookups for people
Yeah.
to take their RVs out there and hook up. And we got a race coming up really soon. Lights Out, which is Donald's race, and does a great job of marketing that. I was able to attend as media at No Mercy, so I'm hoping I'll get the opportunity to do it again at Lights Out. Lights Out is a little bit bigger event than No Mercy, so all you have to do is go to DuckX Productions, and you can see some of the biggest names and no prep kings that are going to be racing in it. Street Outlaw stars, just of course, we mentioned Lyle Barnett tonight because he races at Shadyside off and on with his beer money car. But Lyle will be there. Just a bunch of great racers, very entertaining. And I tell you, you sit in the stands, you're not going to want to get up and go grab you something to eat or go hit the restroom because you're going to be afraid that you're going to miss something really good.
You're definitely going to be missing something. I mean, with all the classes, Radio versus the World, not Outlaw 10.5.
LDR.
I was going to say Limited Drag Radial.
Pro 275.
Pro 275. That's what I was trying to look for. They have other classes too. They have the truck classes. They usually have a no time class. Then
Open
you get
comp.
into open comp. They had to have a 650 class one year, a 750 class index another year, and those parts vary a little bit, but the main core of it is the same. And the competition is phenomenal, and it's a show. It is a show for sure. So look forward to that too, amongst everything else, including Bucks race coming up here soon.
U.S. Nationals coming up, and then you got the Pro Star Shootout. That's next month as well down in Bradenton, and I think it's about a week before the Gators. You have the Pro Mod. Oh shoot!
It's not the Snowbirds.
No, not Snowbirds.
Yeah, because that just happened.
Snowbirds, U.S. Nationals,
World Street Nationals.
No, Jesus, I can't. It's not coming.
It's okay. It's okay.
Anyway, another pro mod race. Just a great thing for Bradenton, and I tell you what, man, they've been packing the house down there. Wes Buck has done a wonderful job putting this winter series on. World Series of Pro Mod. I knew I remember it.
There it is.
That's going to be the last race of their winter series, and I tell you, it's going to be great. If you're in South Florida, you got to go to Bradenton and stop by and see the show.
Yeah, we're definitely busy as far as there's races definitely going on, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So if anybody's in the area, I mean, I don't know where you are listening to this, but if anybody's in the area down here, anywhere near one of these tracks, definitely you come check it out. And again, I know I say this every week, but I mean it. Thank you very much for everybody subscribing and following us on both Facebook. Mitchell puts in a lot of effort with the articles, the information to keep that up to date. Also following us here on the podcast, and also following. We want everybody to go and subscribe on our YouTube channel, On the Spot Motorsports Media on the YouTube channel, because this interview will be uploaded here shortly to YouTube. You can go back and see it on Facebook, but you can also see it on YouTube, and in a short while it'll be uploaded on our Spotify channel, which is also On the Spot Motorsports Media. We've uploaded a lot of the interviews onto Spotify, so there's another platform for you to enjoy. You can put it in your earbuds or put it on in your car as you're going down the road, and you can listen to an interview. Or if you got it on your phone, you can see it also while listening to it. So there's options there. So we just ask you to please go out and support those. And also, again, we thank Redline Synthetic Oils for coming on, a marketing partner this year, and also Scorpion Racing Products for coming on to work with us on
Yeah, we couldn't do it. We couldn't do it without them, Robert.
Right.
We really do appreciate everything that they do for us. And so to help them out, if you need valve train parts, look up Scorpion. Think about them. And also, if you want to protect your engine and other parts of your vehicles with lubricants, go to Redline.
Yep.
Hey, everybody should be part of Team Redline Oil.
Absolutely. Got to support the best, and they're the best.
And like Robert's saying, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, because I promise you, when we live stream races from Gainesville Raceway, starting not this weekend, but the following weekend,
Right.
It's a whole lot better to go to your smart TV and watch it on there instead of trying to watch it on your phone or your laptop.
Yeah, it's better to go to YouTube versus coming to Facebook. To the quality, and just like you said, to be able to stream it longer too. So it's always a plus.
Well, we'll see everybody again Tuesday night. Remember, we'll have Summer Richardson joining us, top alcohol driver, and we're going to talk about her upcoming racing schedule and how people can come out and watch her, and also her sponsors. So until then, we'll see you next Tuesday.
Y'all have a good night. See y'all later.
Reliability to drive thousands of miles. Confidence for those who fly high. Redline oil products give you the power to crush the competition. And a track record of being the best. Redline oil products. You push it to the limit, we'll protect it.
Ready to take your engine to the next level? Scorpion Racing Products delivers precision-engineered, high-performance rocker arms that dominate the track. 100% CNC machined in the USA with aerospace-grade aluminum for unmatched strength and durability. Our rocker arms handle extreme conditions with multiple ratios available to fit your needs. Backed by our exclusive lifetime warranty. When performance matters, choose Scorpion Racing Products. Proven, reliable, unstoppable.